what was the first thing that stood out about Blake when you first got to interact with him and see him on the field?
I think Blake's a little alpha. He's an undersized guy. He's explosive, but he's just a confident kid that wants to be great. He's one of those guys that you have to, you want him to slow down because he's always going. And he works his tail off. He's one of the hardest working running backs I've ever been around.
Does he remind you of you?
He works a lot harder than I work.
But seriously.
No, I mean, I think the best, size-wise, yes. Blake's a lot faster than me, a lot quicker than me. And if I was that fast, I'd probably still be playing in the NFL, So, but no, he's a great kid, But I think just his mentality and the way he does things, the way he approaches the game, I think really similar to the way I did. He doesn't like making mistakes. He's not happy when he makes mistakes. He wants to be perfect. And that's something that reminds me of myself from that standpoint.
When we talked to Josh Gaddis right before fall camp, he said that you could see that Donovan Edwards is a 5-star. What does that look like in practice?
He's just an explosive player. I think a lot of you guys have seen his high school tape and those kind of runs that he made in high school. He has the ability to make those in college. When he switched gears, you can tell. And he doesn't look out of place. I think with a lot of freshmen when they come in, getting used to the speed, getting used to the speed on defense, and making people miss. I think that it takes a little transition normally, and it's still a transition for him. He's not even almost where he needs to be, but you can see that he has a skill set to be really, really special one day. If he gets better, he's not there yet, but if he continues to grow, continues to stay coaching, which he does, he has a chance to be a really good player.
John?
Talk a little bit, if you would, about the dynamic between this offensive coaching staff as you've gotten to know each other and used to each other.
I think we all get along a lot. I think that Sharon does a great job with the offensive line. He brings a lot of energy. Coach Weiss came in with a lot of ideas. He's a really, really smart guy that understands the run game, understands the pass game, brings a lot of NFL experience. And then, Coach Jay's a phenomenal coach. He's coached tight ends, he's coached running backs, he coached tight ends, but he's detailed. He understands the game from a holistic approach in the pass game and the run game. And then, with Coach Gadd, he just ties that all together. So everyone has a voice. We all give our input. And at the end of the day, Coach Gadd decides what we're going to do. But he listens to everybody. I just think we have a great dynamic in there.
Mike, you've been around this area, I guess, recruiting-wise for a long time. Other places, you were coach of the Big Ten. When you got back here, how familiar would you say? What was your familiarity level with the roster? Just as a coach coming outside in, guys that you knew from recruiting or guys that you'd seen?
Michigan, we recruit a lot more nationally.
Sure.
But obviously, the Michigan guys that are in the program. I knew Blake because I recruited that area.
Yeah, right.
Didn't know Hassan because I didn't, just the areas that I recruited, I knew the guys that were around. But I think playing them for 4 years, you get I understood who was on defense because I got to watch them in crossover games, all the time, and even watching their offense. So I may not know them personally, but I knew who they were as players just watching them on film.
Stoney?
Mike, when you played, it was the day of running back got 25, 30 carries. That doesn't exist anymore. Would you have been happy playing in today's college football?
I wouldn't say it doesn't exist anymore. It can happen. It can happen. Depends how many times you run the ball. But for a guy, when I played, I was the only running back that played. There's a lot more guys involved. Most teams play more than one running back now, so it's hard to get 30 carries a game. Last job I had, there's a guy that had 30 carries in a game. That's a weather game, so pouring rain. So, but no, I think that I'd be happy as long as we win. I'd rather have 20 carries and win than 40 carries and lose.
Chris?
A lot of people were critical of the culture last year. What have you seen since you've been here, and how does it compare to when you guys were winning championships?
Everything's been great. Everything's been great. I think that I only know what I know. I wasn't here last year. I think a lot of that is from the outside in. I think no one really knows what goes on inside this building besides who's in this building. And I can tell you it's been great for my standpoint. The coach is great. The players are awesome. They all believe. They all work hard. And that's all I can tell you. It's been great since I've been here.
Is it similar to when you played under Lloyd?
Yeah, there's no question about it. From my viewpoint, of what I've seen since January. The guys show up, they work. They don't complain. Obviously, everyone complains, but they show up, they do the work. They show up again, they do the work. They show up again, and they do the work again. Especially in this training camp. I mean, we're going on day 12, day 13 today, I think. And the guys have been busting their tap. They want to be great, and that's the biggest thing. Is that we have a young team, a team that wants to be great, and we're just excited. I'm excited for them.